Christopherson?
I am, Chair.
Yes, great.
Can you hear
You
me?
we can hear you clearly. Go ahead for up to 5 minutes.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Chair. And thank you to Mayor and Council for an opportunity to say a few words. My name's David Christopherson. I support the initiative. I'm a non-resident of Vancouver, but have a life commitment investing in the expansion and professionalism of Auditor Generals and their departments. I spent the last 35 years in elected office. The first 5 years was on city and regional council. So I certainly have a sense of what you're going through there. But I also did 13 years at Queen's Park, and then I did 15 years in the House of Commons, where actually I became friends with your mayor. And if I may say, you're very lucky to have him as your mayor. But of those 15 years, I spent every year on the Public Accounts Committee, and 4 of those years I was the chair, and the balance of the time I was the vice chair. I've also, the last few years, been traveling the world and making presentations and some training and working with public accounts committees so that they can up their game, because more and more there's a desire across the world for more transparency, more accountability in government, especially government spending, and there is no better way, in my view, than an independent Auditor General to ensure that the taxpayers' money is being spent efficiently, not wasted, and at the results that they expect they're actually getting. Canada has a world reputation for our auditing. First, our auditor professionals are the best in the world, but even our public accounts committees within the Commonwealth, the UK is seen as the gold standard, but it's Canada and Australia. We continue to fight over who gets the silver and who gets the bronze. But we have a phenomenal reputation on the international stage for this work that you're talking about. So I also want to compliment Councillor Hardwick and the working group. This is an excellent initiative, and the fact that your budget is bigger than quite a number of provinces in Canada gives an idea that this is not something that is only for parliamentary systems. This is very much for governance and democracy and accountability. And so I want to thank you very much for these initiatives, because you're showing great leadership. And if I can say, and I'm sure you already know this, but in its core, these used to be called value for money audits. A regular financial audit just tells you whether or not the money was stolen, did the money come in, were the bills paid on time, that kind of thing. But a performance audit, which is a value for money audit, it will take, for example, an initiative by a government or by a council to build, let's say, 3 fire departments for $50 million, just to pick a number. And then at the end of the day, you only got 2 fire departments for the same $50 million. So the first question is, what happened? Why did it happen? How did it happen? And what's going to be done to make sure that it doesn't happen again? And that's where building in your systems within your committee, should you go down this road, where you've got action plans and deadlines, and most importantly, follow-up, that is how you're going to bring about change. Because at the end of the day, this is all about changing behavior so that the staff and the bureaucrats that are administrating the money have good incentive to do the right thing, and they know what it is. And that way, over time, hopefully, we collectively get less and less nightmare Auditor General reports, because people are learning how to do their job, how to do it better, and they know at the end of the day, there's a public accountability component. This is not just going to get swept under the rug. That brings about change in behavior, and that then gives us what we're actually looking for. Nothing used to make me happier than when we get an Auditor General report, and for the most part, because nothing is ever perfect when you're under the microscope of an audit, but for the most part, if they're good audits, it would make my heart sing, because it means that things are being done right, and they're doing exactly what the public has asked them to do. So this is the road that you're going down, and there's as I say, there's a great reputation that Canada has for doing this, and in my view, an independent Auditor General that answers directly to your council is not only your council's watchdog, it's also your citizen's best friend. I always saw the Auditor General of Canada as Canadians' best friend, because nobody was paying more attention to get up every day and do one thing and one thing only, and that's make sure that money's not being wasted and that it's actually being spent efficiently. That's the sole purpose of this. And so to me, it's a great unifier too in a community, because business, of course, doesn't want to see money wasted because their taxes have to go up to pay for it, but neither does the average citizen. They don't want to see their money wasted. So this is, in my view, my humble opinion, this is about as motherhood as it gets in terms of an initiative that the people that you and I used to be elected to serve want and need and deserve. So
Okay, Mr.
if I can,
Christopherson,